something happens where they open up, they have a healing moment of some sort, which is why I wouldn't condone it, but I wouldn't say those kids shouldn't be doing it. Whatever brings a healing brings a healing. I mean, we're at desperate times call for desperate measures, right? I mean, people have been doing this for thousands of years. This is nothing new. None of this is new. Because they there's all these new drugs. No, this is what people have been doing for thousands of years. We're just rediscovering it. Right? And what is it doing? Well, by and large, yeah, there's a few people who can't handle it. And wow, that's sad. Possibly not unavoidable for that individual. Right? But then you get these kids, right? And they're taking mushrooms, they're taking LSD, they're taking DMT. I mean, you name it, it's there. There's not a whole lot of, the coke and the meth and all that. Not so much of that. It's more along those hallucinogenics, psychedelics types. So I'm listening to them, and they're all having these religious experiences, right? And it's funny because they kind of notice that they're describing it as a religious experience, but what they actually are understanding is they're seeing an opening within inside of themselves. It's allowing them to see beyond their own condition, which is allowing them to see beyond what's blocking them. Right? To me, it would be awesome if we could have some kind of system in this country where if that's people's idea, that's where they want to go, that's what they want to do, right? Great. Understand the intention and provide the space for that. If people want to evolve out of here and we say it's overcrowded, well, let's build places where people can go and do that. Right? We'll cut down on consumption. Right? And one of these people might find that doorway and zap! You take 100 million people with them. Experiential support would be awesome. For people to have the experiences that their heart is yearning for. There's nobody with a heart that doesn't want more presence. That's what they want more life, presence, more. Not more stuff so much, but more of that well-being. Right? Well, what if society reformulated itself and we took the intent of it back to that? How much it would actually have to change? We could still have, markets. Right? I mean, it just sucks to think that a beautiful experience like this, because for me it's been quite beautiful. Horrendous at times, yeah, sure. By and large, this existence has been beautiful. It would be a shame to toss it away for what we've made. When we could just kind of deconstruct what we made, take a breath, and maybe rebuild something with a little more integrity, a little more ethically balanced, that inspires people. Where everybody walks around inspired. Right? It would be so weird. I mean, you would have no time to get to know anybody. Because they would be poof, poof. They'd come here for a little while, poof. And off they'd go, and new ones would come in, and old ones would go, poof, poof. It wouldn't be like this, there's an entrance, but there's no exit. So you just get all this stuff filling up the earth, and there's no way for it to get out. It's like a big petri dish. Right? They just keep sticking, little specimens in there, but none of the specimens are allowed to evolve outside of that. Right? So life does what it does. It somehow just transforms itself to get beyond that barrier. It comes around it, now it's on the other side of it, effectively. Which is really what we have to do. If you want to experience love, presence, bliss, joy, an energetic life more abundantly, it's not happening in there. It's not happening in here. It's happening from here to here and even out from there. Or it's not. But it sure is not happening in that petri dish. In your conditioned mind, is it happening? No. You're conditioned to believe that if your, whatever your involvement is, whatever's important to you, you're mainly relationships. Just use that one. If your relationship fails, you're a failure. That's a condition we all believe in. So it keeps a lot of people in very horrible relationships. What a joke. And what do we say? Well, you know, it's bad. Divorce is bad. Breaking up is bad. Separating from someone is bad. Society says it. It's always a trauma. It's always a dilemma. It's always a problem. Right? So we're conditioned to stay in them, no matter how really horrid we feel. Right? That's a good chunk of the American population's problem. You look at the energetic reality of what you're dealing with. Quit looking at your concepts. Quit looking at your, moral ideas. Look at the reality of how you feel. You don't need some moral code to live by at all. You do something and it feels horrible. If you're smart, you won't do it again. And if you're stupid, well, heavens, you're going to be the furthest person from it. Because the more you do that, the further away you get from the present moment. The further away you get from the present moment, the further away you get from being. Because the being is not going to leave the present moment for you. It will extend its energy far down your path of psychosis as a, come on home, come on back to sanity, But it sure isn't going to pick up and leave the present moment to follow you on a tangent. So the more you do stuff that really doesn't make you feel good, which is what bad stuff is, right? Well, the less energy you'll have to do it. And the less, and the less, and the less, and the less. Because being doesn't go there. It stays in the present. The present, if you were actually existing in the present, that is satisfaction. There's nothing you really need. What makes it ultra spooky is everybody around you needs something. So they're all influencing you out of the moment for their needs. So, woo. It gets really crazy. I understand why those guys went in the Himalayas and went into caves. Get them away from me. They didn't have the stomach for the world at large. You can hold them in reverence all you want. I'm not going to, because they had no stomach. They found their bliss and didn't give a shit about anyone else. The people that would come and find them, sure, they would hammer them a little bit. I'm sure. But I can understand why they did it. Because think about that. You're freshly free. You are fresh, it's fresh, it's green. You're green in it. A novice. But you have a state of well-being that, without any interference, is really humming along quite well. Right? You become clear. You understand what you're doing here. There's no confusion about it. There's no worry about it. And joy just starts coming out of you because you've got nothing to really worry about. Your well-being is intact. But you're fresh. You're green in it. Right? But everyone around you, no, they haven't found that yet. They have not found that yet. So they still have all these things that